What is going on, YouTube? How's everyone doing on this lovely Wednesday evening? This is Mike in the house, and I have two special guest stars. To my right, he is known as Light Skin Jordan Tribal.
Yo, what's good?
Big
Happy New
shout,
Year.
yeah, big shout out to Tribal.
Yeah,
So go subscribe to his
that is rap.
channel. That Ain't
Yes,
Rap podcast,
yes.
and he's on 5 million other platforms. One of the hardest working man on YouTube.
I'm trying to be like y'all, man.
So, and then to my bottom, he is the man of the hour. He is practically the king of all kings.
Yes.
Oh boy, Veg.
What's goody? What's goody? How y'all doing?
Chilling.
Go subscribe to his channel, Veg Reviews. Where they not only talk about classic stuff, they talk about stuff that's kind of questionable, but at the exact same time, I mean
Yeah.
it's good, great channel. These two guys, the best people on YouTube.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it,
So
fam.
yep, no problem. So today we are going to be doing a top 100 movie of all time. Now, by what I mean all time, it means that it could be a movie that, see, movies are very subjective, okay? And movies, it could be anything that this person likes, but then this person think this is the worst movie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we all gonna have our different opinions and lists and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So any movie that includes documentaries, animated features, even TV movies from back in the day. So
Right.
yep. So all right. You know what? Try, you know what? You can go
Yeah.
ahead. You can go first.
I
Veg, you can go second, and then I'm gonna go last.
I bet. I got my number 100 is the movie I was just mentioning that from the 50s. This is probably the oldest movie on my list. It's the original version of The Blob from 1958.
Mmm.
And this was a movie that I grew up watching, way back in the day, like when Fox 5 used to show like movies on the weekend, and they would show like a lot of old films like Day and Ants and the Blob. And what's crazy is when they remade the Blob, I think that was what 80, 87, 88. I actually went to see the remake of that version. That was when that year came was Fat Boys Disorderlies that came out. I think that was 87 that came
Oh
out.
God.
Yeah, disorderly.
And yeah, and I remember going to Queens and at the mall out there, and I wanted to see the Fat Boys movie, but they had the Blob also, and I went to see the Blob remake. So I've seen both versions of the Blob, and I like both of them, but I think the original one doesn't get enough recognition. So the Blob 1958. That's my first pick, and it's a sci-fi horror. It's about like I forget how the whole shit happened. It was like the whole town was like running away from like a humongous fungus type of thing, and it was like all red.
Hmm.
And I forgot how it was. I think the government was behind the whole shit. But
Of
if
course.
if you love sci-fi horror, you're gonna love this. And what it's just a campy. It's a campy type of film. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of gore, especially for the 58 version. It wasn't a lot of gore. I know the remake in 87 it was a little bit gorier, but the original one, they have it in black and white and then they colorized it. So I saw the colored version back in the day, but it's definitely always been like a classic of mine.
And what's funny is that the '80s version, that just came out on 4K not long
Oh,
ago.
nice.
Yep, it
Yeah,
has a 4K release.
nice.
Okay, cool. My number 100. This is a movie we talked about recently, this past Halloween. It's The Blackening.
Ooh,
Uh,
Mm.
Yeah, a black slasher film that's comedic and horror filled, and nobody dies at the end. That's the best part.
Wow. What? Nobody died?
Yeah.
That's
Oh
crazy.
yeah. You didn't watch. You didn't
I didn't
watch the
see
movie.
it. Nah, I didn't see it.
So yeah, this movie stars like Grace Byers, Jermaine Fowler, Antoinette Robinson, among other people. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much just a movie based on the whole Juneteenth and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? But it's like a horror movie with Juneteenth, so that's the best part of it all.
Yeah.
And so I love the movie. I feel like the movie is going to be like a classic in years to come. I just hope they don't do like I heard that they're going to do like a prequel. I heard, but I don't know how true that is.
What?
He said, "What?"
It's crazy.
Wow. Well, I ain't gonna hold you. You came out left field with that one. Okay.
Like, already?
Okay.
From last year?
Yeah. Wow. Well, and you
This
know
whole list
what?
is going to be left field.
And you know what? It's funny too because I went into low expectations of that
Mhm.
movie. I'm like, this movie's not gonna be as good. No. And then when I saw it in theaters, I'm like, this is probably one of the best like movies one of the best comedies I've seen in a while. Like, wow.
It's
So,
crazy.
all right. So speaking of last year's movie, my number 100 is Barbie.
Oh.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
One, it's not. People think, oh, even though people think Barbie's overrated, people think that, oh, Barbie, it's about the toy and stuff like that. It's more to
Mm.
it.
Right.
Now the movie got several Golden Globe nominations, and it's getting Oscar buzz,
Nice.
especially Ryan Gosling. Now, I don't know if he's going to get an Oscar nomination. In my opinion, I don't think he should get a nomination, but he was great in it. He was great. But the one actress I could think of
Mhm.
that should definitely get an Oscar nomination and win it,
Right.
it's not Margot Robbie, it's America Ferrera. And
Oh,
I'm gonna
wow.
tell you why.
Okay.
I agree.
That 5-minute monologue.
Wow.
And I've seen her in other good films too. Don't get me wrong. She's a great actress. But that 5-minute monologue, I was glued to my seat. I could not take my eyes off of her for a second. And the 5-minute monologue, like, kind of consists of like women's empowerment and all that, stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, I just learned something in like 5 minutes from watching her. I'm like, if she does not get an Oscar nomination, then I don't know what. Like, that was probably the best acting I've seen from her, like, ever. And she's a good actress, but she just killed it. You know what I'm saying? So that is one of the main reasons why I picked this one as number 100.
You said what?
Like,
Now I was saying I gotta see Barbie then because I haven't seen it yet.
yeah.
Okay.
It's a very good movie.
All right. Now number 99, I got this is low on the list, but it really should be, it could be number one really. I got E.T.
Oh, whoa. Wow.
Yes, it's low on the list, but that's only because of like when I did the list over the summer last year, I just was jotting down every like movie that came to my mind that I grew up on. So E.T. happened to be 99 after the Blob, but it easily could be number one. So a lot of these movies can easily be number one, but like E.T. for me, like that was like one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid, and having Elliot become friends with this alien that crash landed on in his backyard, and we see like this story of like how he became friends with ET and how the government was after them, and it's always been a classic story. And then like Steven Spielberg was just a genius at that time, and just giving us like the great little alien effects here and there, and this one I think was less special effects and more story. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to special effects, like everybody remembers like the when Elliot is riding his bike with ET in the front, and then he goes off, he like starts riding off into the sky. That's like the classic, scene or whatever. But this one was like more grounded, more family based, and I love it. We got Drew Barrymore in the film, and she was little, and she was a great. I think she stole a lot of the scenes in the
Yeah.
movie, and it was just a great story. And I remember, I think me and Rich had reviewed this last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I had to actually go back and watch it because I haven't seen the film in years, and I know it's like 40 years this year or something like that. It was like 40 years recently or something
2
like
years
that.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there was always talks about a sequel, and I'm glad they didn't make the sequel because I just thought the sequel from the way that they had the story, it just sounded bad. It just sounded like a cash grab, and I remember having the ET toys when I was little. I had like the talking ET. They had like either the ET bed set, everything. So I was a huge ET fan, and I'm glad that I went back and watched it over like after so many years, and it still holds up. It's still a great classic film.
Mm, classic.
Yeah.
I actually got ET on my list, but it's gonna be
Okay.
further up. I want to say my thoughts on that. Um, my number 99. Now, to a lot of people, this might be ranked a bit higher, but there's another movie of this type I kind of say is more superior. But with this one, I'm gonna go with Space Jam 1.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, this is a nostalgic favorite of mine. It's actually the highest going basketball movie of all time and stuff like that too. Well, I think before another basketball movie, but I don't know which one. It just says until 2022. 2022. It has Michael Jordan in it and a bunch of Looney Tunes and stuff like that too. And yeah, like some of the best voice actors doing the Looney Tunes, like Billy West, Danny DeVito, D. Bradley Baxter, D. Bradley Baker, and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So with this movie, Space Jam, it tells like a semi-fictional story about how Michael Jordan went to baseball.
Right.
Because he stopped playing basketball. I think like 92, 93,
Right.
because that was around the time when his father passed away. Well, got murdered, excuse me.
Yeah.
And his father wanted him to play baseball because he loved baseball. So he did baseball for a good minute. And so it pretty much kind of ties them together because I think around 96, Jordan did come back to playing basketball and
Hmm.
everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So, and around this time too, the Looney Tunes in the 90s was like going through like a little renaissance because they were getting like a lot more popular when like
Right.
you had like a lot of people like having the t-shirts. Tasmanian Devil alone was
Right.
getting like more popular. You had shows like Tiny Toons, Animaniacs and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So they were really getting more popular in the '90s and shit. And I forgot to mention the Michael Jordan Bugs Bunny Nike commercial that was
Right.
like very well, the Air Jordan that was very popular at
Yeah.
that time, which actually broke down the barrier for them to do this movie. So like this is a classic movie in my opinion. The less said about the sequel, the better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, and the soundtrack too. It's in a class. It's in a class
Yeah.
by itself.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Love the soundtrack. It has that Monica song, For
Hmm.
You I Will. One of Jay-Z's best songs, Buggin', which she wrote that for fucking Bugs Bunny and stuff like that too. And if you guys like look at the rhyme scheme on Bugs Bunny, you can tell Jay-Z did that shit and stuff like that. that hit 'em high joint, with like Julio, LL, Be Real, so on and so on. And of course, I believe I can fly by R. Kelly and shit. So yeah, that's a favorite of mine. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Hmm.
So my number 99, I'm gonna have to go with Super 8.
Nice.
Never
Now,
seen it.
now this one, it's it has like ET slash Close Encounters of the Third Kind vibes,
Hmm.
and it was directed by J.J. Abrams, who did what, Star Trek,
Right.
and he did some TV shows and stuff like that, like TV shows like Alias and a few other good shows.
Great.
I love the fact that it took place in like 1979 and stuff like that. Love the atmosphere. Love the. It's kind of like a sci-fi, kind of like suspense,
Right.
but it has a good cast in it too. So I loved it.
Nice. Yeah, Super 8 was dope. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know. Let me see. 90. What is this? We got 98, right?
Yep.
All right, 98 for me is because Carrie is 98.
Ooh.
One of my favorite horror films now. This is another film that I watched, when I was younger, and I really didn't understand it. I had to watch it when I was older, and just the whole story of like Carrie being telepathic, and she grew up in a religious home with her mom, and I feel like her mom was overbearing with her, and Carrie got bullied at school. She got teased, and she wanted to feel loved. She didn't really have friends at school, and she ended up going to the prom with one of these douchebags, and you know they his friends, and they kind of like set her up for embarrassment at the prom, and they threw the pig's blood on her and everything, and she just went ape shit. Like she just got pissed off, and she was like killing all of them in the gym. You know what I'm saying? And I just love the story. I think the story was a great build up to leading into prom night, and she just went batshit crazy after that, and it was just great. It was just a great cast, and again, like, this is one of those films where Hollywood went and screwed it up, and they tried to do like a sequel and a remake, and it was bad. And just stick to the original one. The original Carrie with Sissy Spacek was classic.
Yeah, I watched the sequels and the
Yeah,
remake. I'm like, oh Lord, nope.
yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
you know.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Sorry about that. Had to handle something, but yeah, I have to watch that movie. Though. I've never seen that movie.
yeah, it was good.
I'm not gonna hold you. My next pick on number 98. I like this movie, but it's pretty much like a placeholder. I'm gonna be real.
Right.
Y'all might laugh at me, but it's gonna be Malibu's Most Wanted.
What?
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 Wow.
You talking
Hey,
about the
what?
one with Jamie Kennedy?
Yeah.
What? All right.
Yo,
Okay. I'm gonna explain.
Okay.
yo,
Is it the funniest movie? It's not the funniest movie. Have
Uh-huh.
you have you seen this plot before? Most definitely.
man.
But the thing about this movie, I'm not even the biggest Jamie Kennedy fan,
Right.
but it has a certain charm about itself that the scene might be so fucking stupid you laugh at it because of how absurd the joke is. So the
Bro.
story goes, a white rapper by the name of B Rad, which is like a play on B Rabbit from 8 Mile. He's from Malibu, but he thinks he's the best rapper in the world. His father's running for politician, and he wants to make him look like he's gonna get robbed. He wants to like one day in the hood to scam straight. So he hires like Tay Diggs and Anthony Anderson, and they have this sister Regina Hall and everything like that too. And they pretty much want to scare the fuck out of him, but it's he's passing the test, he's holding on and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen this plot before, but the thing I like about it is this: I feel like the cast pretty much elevated the material. You know what I'm saying? And y'all gonna have a lot of. I'm gonna have a lot of weird movies on this list. So I'm just gonna. Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, like Blair Underwood, who's in the movie, and Blair Underwood don't really do a lot of comedies and shit like that too. He was funny as hell in this one. You had motherfucking Tay Diggs. I'm not the biggest Tay Diggs fan though, but he was funny. So, I mean, it's just the little things. Like my favorite part was when he said the N word. He said the N word in the freestyle competition and shit. But yeah, this movie. Is it a classic movie? No, but I feel like it has a cult following to it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the Tay Diggs, the one scene he cracked me up in. Like I think Jamie Kennedy's kid. They was talking to him and Anthony Anderson. They were talking to Jamie Kennedy's kid, and then those two guys out of nowhere came with guns, and then like Tay Diggs was like, "Oh my god!" The way he said it, I died laughing. That was too funny. Like that was funny. So, wow, that Malibu's Most Wanted. Okay, that's wow.
Yeah.
And you know what the gag is?
What's up?
This was a much easier list I've ever made than my music list. That's the gag.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man.
My next movie is gonna have y'all laughing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wow.
Oh Lord.
This already made me laugh, Reg. So what's next?
Where we at? Number 98?
Yeah.
Okay. My number 98 is The Raid 2. Now, this is an Indonesian film, an Indonesian action film. And I'm a sucker for fight scenes. And about every 5 minutes, it's fighting like with like fist, feet, backs, and stuff. I didn't see Raid Redemption. I haven't seen that one, but I remember when the Raid 2 came out, and one of my coworkers at the time was like, "Oh, you gotta go see this movie. You gotta go see this movie." I was like, "All right, what's the big fuss about this movie?" Once I saw it, I fell in love with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's one of the best action movies of all time, in my honest opinion. If you haven't, this is a must see. There's rumors that they're gonna come out with the third one, but that's been rumored for about the past couple of years.
Wow. Okay. 97 for me is Casino. Martin Scorsese film. I love this film. This to me is one of his best. With an ensemble cast. You had Robert De Niro and Sharon Stone, Joe Pesci, James Woods. I just thought the whole cast did their thing, and the whole look of it from like the early 70s Vegas, like it was real. Like they went all out with the costumes. Like, Robert De Niro, he wore like a different suit in every scene in that film, and Sharon Stone was looking gorgeous as ever, and just talking about like how when the whole gambling thing was starting to bubble out there in Vegas, and how you had Sam Ace character. He was owning his casino, and the everyday operations that he had to go through with the casino, people robbing him blind, and his wife is cheating on him with his friend, and there was a lot of stuff going on, but it felt like a mafia film, even though it wasn't. But just the way that it was shot, the cinematography and the score of the film, and it was just classic. It's just a classic film, timeless, and I never get tired of watching it.
Dope. Okay.
That's dope.
Yeah.
All right. So this next movie right here, this is another personal favorite of mine that anytime I'm in a bad mood, I watch this movie.
Mhm.
It's The Wash from
Ooh.
2001.
Okay.
Not Car Wash, the one with Dre and Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Yeah.
God.
So this is another personal favorite of mine. And I remember BET used to play the fuck out this movie. So it tells a story about these cats named Sean and D-Lo, who pretty much were roommates, and D-Lo got Sean fired from his Foot Locker job. So now he works with him in a car wash. And it's like all this weird shit happening in the car wash. Again, the cast. Let me tell you who's in the movie. Let me just say George motherfucking Wallace. I mean, I can just say that right now and just be like, okay, you can already sell me. You had Tommy Lister Jr., aka Debo, rest in peace. Lamont Bentley, rest in peace to him too. Hakeem from Moesha. Angel Conwell, y'all should know her, dope actress, very sexy by the way.
Mhm.
DJ motherfucking Pooh.
Mm.
Yes. One of the main reasons why the first Friday was a classic.
Right.
And then you had Eminem in a fucking movie who was, in my opinion, the whole MVP.
Oh wow. Man.
Bro, this nigga's like, this motherfucker that stole my job. my favorite scene was when Pooh and motherfucking his other homeboy Solo or Sean Fontino, all my GTA fans, y'all should know about him. He played Franklin on GTA. They were like, we the motherfucking kidnappers. We want the motherfucker. Like that whole scene was fucking classic and shit. So this is another favorite of mine. I love it.
Mhm.
I remember watching that a long time ago. I think it was like probably, it might have been, when did that come out? 2001.
Yes, sir.
I remember watching that. I think it was maybe a year after, and I thought it was pretty good. I thought that was a pretty good movie. So, all right. So, what we at? Number 97.
Yeah.
Okay, 97. I'm gonna have to go with Die Hard.
Mm.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yep. This movie solidified Bruce Willis's career.
Right.
You know, in spite of him in Moonlighting,
Mhm.
but
Classic.
once he jumped to Die Hard, you know the rest is pretty much history. Even though he's done some trash,
Right.
but this movie was ahead of its time, in my honest opinion. The action I thought was great. Bruce Willis, I thought he gave a great performance.
Yeah.
Alan Rickman, you know, who was the main villain, I thought he should have got major awards consideration. I thought he was great in that.
Mhm.
The screenplay, everything about it was good. So yeah, great movie.
Good. I'm going with number 96, the Stephen King classic It.
Oh,
The
Ooh.
the miniseries on ABC from 1990, not the 2017 film. Even though the 2017 film, I liked the first part, I just thought the second part was whack. That's why I didn't put it on my list.
uh-huh.
But the miniseries to me was even scary. Like for that time with when it had Tim Curry when he played Pennywise and he plays like a demonic clown that he was killing little kids in the town of Derry and you had like these 7 kids, they were all friends and they had like a club, they had the losers club, they call themselves, and you know they had to battle it, and then like 30 years later when they were grown adults, he came back and they had to battle him again. And I like that miniseries more. And I just felt like if they had kept the 2017 film to just one movie, it would have been. I like the first part. I think the first movie was classic, but the second one, it was too much flashbacks of the Losers Club when they tried to incorporate the grown ups and the little kids from the first film in part two, and it didn't work. But and then plus the way that he died in part two was just whack. I'm like, they didn't like they didn't even follow the book. Like the book is like so much more that they could have talked about, and they didn't do that with the remake. But with the miniseries, I just thought it was good. And for that time when ABC used to, it seemed like they used to show like all of Stephen King's miniseries, whether it was it or what was the other one? There was another one that the Stand. I think it was the Stand. They used to show. They showed that. Yeah, they showed that. They used to show like all his miniseries for whatever reason. Or maybe he had to deal with ABC back then, but I remember like they used to show like all of his miniseries back then. But this one was scary. Like I remember watching this as a kid, and I remember when in like the first episode when you see like it and you see Pennywise, and he was like hiding in the sewer drains and killing kids, and that was like a controversial thing even from 1990, and I just thought it was a good good miniseries. So that's my 96.
That's dope. My number 96 is The Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Disney movie from 1996.
Oh,
yeah. First Disney movie on the list and shit.
Right.
So this was released during the whole Disney Renaissance. I kind of feel like this movie don't get the credit it deserves a lot. I mean, it gets credit, but it was one of the most darkest Disney movies and shit. And somehow, some way, it was a G-rated movie. But this movie has murder, lust, genocide, fucking religion, rape. Yeah, rape. Like,
What?
and it was a G-rated movie and shit. Like,
Right.
but like I said, back in them days, certain movies that was even PG still had a slight edge to it. You know what I'm saying? Because Disney, this was not the first dark rated movie Disney did. Y'all remember that movie, the Black Cauldron, and that was a controversial movie and shit like that too. But this tells a story about this motherfucker named Quasimodo. He was motherfucking ugly. He had a hunchback, and his mom got killed by this nigga named Frollo, and Frollo kind of like raised him, but he always said that he can't go out in the real world because he's plain ugly. So one time it was a festival of fools, and the motherfucker sneaks out, and he meets his gypsy, but then he gets ridiculed because he was just so ugly that they start throwing shit at him and stuff like. So it's like an ugly duckling kind of story.
Right.
And if you read the original Hunchback of Notre Dame, it's kind of a fucked up story. That's all I'm going to say. So Disney, they made Talking Gargoyles, which was like the worst part of the whole movie. But yeah, I love this movie. I love the songs in this movie and shit. The villain Frollo was like voiced by Tony Jay. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of the best Disney villains ever. You know what I'm saying? So this might be a top 5 Disney movie. Like you seen the Hunchback of Notre Dame, right? The Disney. Yeah,
I saw the animated one.
Yeah. That's a classic movie and shit. Yeah, man. Someone can give me the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack too. You know, so
Okay.
yes, sir.
I need to rewatch that movie. I know I saw it a long time ago. I need to rewatch it.
Yeah.
All right. My number 96. I'm gonna have to go with Lethal Weapon, the first one.
Nice.
Oh shit.
Mel Gibson, I ain't gonna hold you. He was crazy. He was crazy in that movie.
Right.
Love the chemistry between Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, and I love the action and I love the story to it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it's one of the best movies of '87. '87 was a good year for movies
Mhm.
too.
Right.
So yeah, yeah. So yeah, I love it.
All right. 95 for me is The Nun Part One from and the Nun is a horror film. It's part of the Conjuring universe, and you have like a demonic. You have a demon in the form of a nun, and the demon's name is Valak, and Valak is, this is basically like its own story, and you have like, it's a religious film, like, it takes place at like a church, and you have like a young nun who hasn't taken her vows yet, and she's running around with this priest to find out, there's gruesome murders being done in the town, and they find out that it's Valak, and it all ties in with the Conjuring universe, with the Conjuring 2, which I thought was like a classic horror film. And um I enjoyed the first one, and I know the first one made like, close to $400 million. They came out with a sequel last year. And the thing is, a lot of people enjoyed the sequel more than the first one, and I thought the first one was better. But I enjoyed it. I hope, like, when they come out with the last Conjuring, that they put Valak in that film, like a cameo or something, and just like one final showdown with the Warren family. But I think the first one was good. I went to see it in the theaters when it came out, and it was good. It's like a couple jump scares here and there, and I like the cinematography and the score of the film. So that's my 94, 95.
That's a good one, Try.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a good one, indeed. My number 95 is 8 Mile.
mm,
Ooh.
mm.
Yeah, another white rapper movie, but this one's better and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is Eminem's movie, his semi-autobiographical film. It stars this white rapper named Jimmy, aka B Rabbit, who tries to make it in the hip hop game by also watching after his daughter and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And then he has to face all the adversaries because he's a white rapper and all that shit too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this movie's pretty good. This is definitely a classic movie. It has Eminem, Mekhi Phifer, Brittany Murphy, rest in peace, Kim Basinger, Anthony Mackie, probably his best role in my opinion, and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say that much, but it's still a good role for him.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so yeah, this is a great movie. I love it.
Mm. Yeah, I have that on 4. I have that on 4K still,
Yeah.
bro.
I got the DVD.
Mm. Yeah, that's a great movie
Yeah.
indeed.
Thanks.
So number where we at 95?
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. So 95. I'm gonna have to go with Superfly, 1970.
Yeah,
Nice.
the
That should,
original.
yeah, the original, yeah, and that should be on top of the list. But Superfly, um, I mean, shoot, what more can you say about it? I mean, the
Right.
soundtrack. Oh my God, one of the best soundtracks of all time. Great story. The acting was on spot on. Yeah, one of the best movies of the '70s. That in my opinion, it should have got major awards consideration, but of course, they're not gonna give awards to black exploitation,
Right.
of course.
Nice. All right. 94 for me is a horror mystery that came out in 2000, starring Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford, What Lies Beneath.
Oh,
Love this film, and the story of Harrison Ford's character. He plays a doctor, Norman Spencer, who he had an affair on his wife. Michelle Pfeiffer plays his wife Claire, and you come to find out that their house was being haunted by a spirit. And I don't want to give the whole story away, but the spirit, it has a connection to the husband, and we find that out later on of why the spirit was haunting the house and haunting the wife, and then Claire finds out he had an affair. So I just like the way that it was done. It wasn't done. It wasn't done too like it was horror. It was like a horror, but it was more mystery than horror. It wasn't done in like a horrorful type of way where if you see the title, oh, Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer's in a horror, but it was done like with taste. So it was more mystery leading up to how everyone finds out what was going on, and I like the way that it was shot, and the scenes and the acting was done. Michelle Pfeiffer to me is a great actress, and Harrison Ford was still in his prime, and he was great in this film. And this was like not a film that when I watched it I didn't expect for it to be that good, but I really enjoyed it, and I end up watching it like over and over again. So that's my 94.
That's a good one, Try.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Thanks.
is good. I remember seeing that, like, I think I rented it or something like that. It was a long time ago, and
Yeah.
I remember it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Hopefully that gets like a proper
4K.
4K release
Yeah.
at some point.
Right.
So I got another what the fuck movie.
Oh,
Hmm?
Lord.
No boy.
This is Secret Agent 00 Soul, Billy D. Williams.
What the fuck is that?
What? What?
Who? Secret Agent.
Secret Agent 00 Soul?
Yeah.
That title was horrible.
I can't get mad. You know what? I can't get mad at you about that one. I can't get mad. I can't get.
Oh man.
Hey, yo,
Wow.
If you wanna laugh, look up Billy D. Williams Secret Agent Soul. So this is pretty much a low budget parody of the Naked Gun movies, starring Billy D. Williams. He plays James Brown III.
What? Wow.
Get this. The intro has Billy D jumping off a helicopter, but he fucks up the somersault and shit.
Wow.
And it also has like Jamie Cartridge, who was, if you guys remember that show Malcolm and Eddie, he was like the big guy. It had Debo Tom Lister Jr. in that movie and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Billy D. Williams was thinking when he did this movie, but this shit, it was funny. It was low key funny for the wrong reasons and shit. Like, all I'm gonna say is you guys just have to watch it yourselves and shit. Me and Mike did a review on the movie years ago.
Wow.
We invited Try, but he didn't want to watch it.
Yeah, it is. It didn't sound good.
Wow. Yeah. That. You know what? I watch that movie from time to time, especially that airplane scene. But especially the music that was playing too. Like I'm like Billy D. What the hell were you thinking? He did it for the money. He had to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. I can't get mad about that one. That was that. I like that. I like that. You surprised me on that one. All right. So number 94. A lot of people don't know about this movie. It has like a small cult following, but this is a forgotten movie. This one stars Christian Slater, and it's called Pump Up the Volume.
I remember that. It's been years.
This particular movie, I can totally relate, and here's why. So I'm gonna give you what the story is. So Christian Slater, he's in high school. He's a shy kid. He can't talk to girls. He can't really talk to people too well. He's a smart and bright kid. But at night, he has this radio show, that's, he went through like the FCC now, at this point knows that he has his underground radio show. So now they're trying to go after him. They're trying to find out where, this radio station is. So he has his radio station where he's just, he talks about like any subject and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of has like it has a little romance in it too, because this is one particular girl, one particular actress. Her name is Samantha Mathis. She's been in some other movies too. I think they in real life, her and Christian Slater, I think, went out at that particular time. That's how they first met.
Right.
Believe it or not. So she finds out in the middle of the movie that he's this DJ guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so he she likes him and he likes her, but he doesn't know how to say that he likes her.
Right.
So there's some memorable moments in that movie. I'm not gonna give much in the way of that movie, but this movie is, to me, in my honest opinion, is relatable to today's world too. So that's one of the main reasons why I put this down is my number 94.
All right. 93, I got Edward Scissorhands from Tim Burton.
Oh,
Classic film, one of my favorite Tim Burton films of all time. I think it's like top 3 for me. And I think it's one of the best Johnny Depp roles. He didn't have no dialogue. He didn't have no lines. He was quiet for the whole film, and it was just based off of his bodily expressions and just the story of how he was created by like a scientist played by Vincent Price, and rest in peace to him. And before Edward Scissorhands could be completed, the scientist died, so he left him without no hands. He only had scissors for hands. And he was like an outcast immediately once he came in contact with anybody, and he meets the saleswoman Peg, played by Diane West, and she has a daughter, Winona Ryder. She played her daughter in the film, and they fall in love, and it was just like I felt sorry for Edward. It was just like how people looked at his hands and they treated him differently because he didn't look like them, and I just thought it was a beautiful, like the sets were beautiful, and like the way it was shot, and it has a cult following now. Like back then when it came out, this movie only made 86 million,
right.
and many years later it has a huge cult following, and they talked about doing sequels that never happened, but I think it's always been one of Tim Burton's like best directed films. So. BJ said he wasn't invited. BJ, you can always come on here, yo.
Right.
All right. My number 93 is Us. This movie came out in 2019. This is a Jordan Peele movie. It's pretty much a story about this lady who also has like a doppelganger, which is another word for clone, in an alternate universe, and it's like a psychological thriller, you know what I'm saying, or horror, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, this one was very dope too. I love this one. It has like a lot of twists and turns. I'm not going to reveal a lot when it comes to like the spoilers. This one you just have to see for yourself. So yeah, that's my number 93.
And I think Us was scarier than Get Out.
Ooh. Well, I don't get scared by movies, so.
Yeah.
I'm a real nigga.
I don't really get. I get creeped out.
Right.
A couple of movies come to mind, creep me out, but yeah. So number 93. Batman, 1989.
Ooh.
Yes.
This is directed by Tim Burton, and a lot of people didn't believe that Michael Keaton could play Batman. He pulled it off so well that even he's surprised to hire me. And Jack Nicholson as the Joker, I thought he was great. The visual effects at that particular time was really good.
Mm.
It was pretty much ahead of its time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I like it. I love this movie.
Yeah. Nice. 92, I got Sin City
Oh.
from 2005, and this was based off of a novel. I actually have the novel. It's based off the novel by Frank Miller. He was like and I loved like Frank Miller's. He's known for like his graphic novels, and the storytelling and the illustration was really dark, and had like that noir type of look to it. And um I remember going to see this film when it came out in 2005, and like we went on opening night, and that's literally the only movie I ever went to see in history where like I actually saw the movie sitting on the floor of the movie theater. That's how packed it was in the movie theater. Like
Mm.
it was crowded. It was like no more seats. Everybody was rushing to see this film when it came out in '05, and I literally sat there for 3 hours watching the film on the floor.
Mm.
You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? And they still came over and they served us popcorn and everything, and that was crazy. I made an exception for that film because I really wanted to see it, and it came out in IMAX on opening night, and it was beautifully shot. I know they shot the whole film in like in back of like in front of a green screen, and the special effects was great, and the costumes and the whole. This is another movie that had an ensemble cast with Brittany Murphy, rest in peace, and you had Bruce Willis, you had Clive Owen, Benicio del Toro, Mickey Rourke, Josh Hartnett, Elijah Wood,
Mm.
Rosario Dawson. It was just a great cast, and it was they brought the novel to life on screen, and it's like a different stories going on within the film. There was like one story where Mickey Rourke played he's like a vigilante, and he was like going through the city and looking to find who killed his love. I think his love was like a prostitute, and he had a thing for her, and then she got murdered, and he was going around the city trying to find out who killed her. And then the other story with Bruce Willis, he played a cop, and he was going after a child killer, and the killer was like disfigured. And then Brittany Murphy, she played like she was a prostitute, and she was running away from her ex pimp, which was Benicio del Toro, and her new boyfriend was Clive Owen. So they had like a that storyline was good, and it was just like done like great. It was just like a great film, and I think it was like just the look of it was groundbreaking for Hollywood at that time. And I know they came out with part two of Damn to Kill, which was actually the prequel for Sin City, but I didn't like A Damn to Kill. I thought it was they basically killed off everybody in part two. You know what I'm saying? That like they brought on, which made no sense. But since the first Sin City to me was a classic.
Mm. That's a great choice.
Yeah,
That's dope. That's dope.
thanks.
All right, my number 92. We're at number 92.
Yeah,
All right, it's Fritz the Cat. This is a movie that came out in 1972. It's pretty much one of the first X-rated cartoons to come out in the United States and shit. It's based on a comic book and everything like that too. It's pretty much just it was a racy movie for its time. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I'm saying? The dude Ralph Bakshi, he's done like a lot of adult oriented cartoons. If it wasn't for movies like this, you wouldn't have like shit like South Park or like Beavis and Butthead and stuff like that too. But yeah, Fritz the Cat, 1972.
I've never seen that one.
me neither.
That's
Yeah, it's a rare movie.
hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, if I could find it, I'm gonna have to check it out.
Cool.
All right, so number 92, right?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I don't particularly care for war movies, but this one I actually liked. The more I watched it, the more it
Give
grew
me
on
one
me.
second.
1986 Platoon.
Mm,
This is the Oliver Stone film. This one stars, Tom Bergen, Willem Dafoe,
right.
Charlie Sheen, Keith David. Johnny Depp has a small role in this one. It has an all-star cast. Um, yeah, I don't really particularly care for war movies like that. I think they are too sad. But this one, the more I watched it, and then the music score I was really good. The more I watched it, the more it grew on me. And this was nominated for some Academy Awards, including two for Best Supporting Actor, Tom Berenger and Willem Dafoe. Which
Right.
Willem Dafoe is way longer overdue for his first Oscar win,
Mm,
in my opinion.
right.
Um, but yeah, everybody definitely did their thing in this movie. So yeah.
All right. 91 for me is the Alfred Hitchcock classic, The Birds
Oh.
from
Mm.
1963. One of my favorite Alfred Hitchcock films. And I've been on recently, like the last couple of months, I've been watching a lot of Alfred Hitchcock films, Dial M for Murder, which was another classic, and Vertigo. I enjoyed that, and To Catch a Thief. He has a lot of classics that people don't talk about. But this one, like I grew up watching this and not understanding why the birds were following uh, uh, uh Melanie, and I still don't know why they were following her. But um, to me, it was like when I'm watching the film, it's a mystery, and you really don't really. I mean, people say that they understood why the birds were following Melanie, but I don't understand why. And Mitch, she meets this guy named Mitch Brenner in a pet store in San Francisco, and they end up talking, and I think Mitch was a pimp because he had like he knew like girls all in the town or whatever, and he she bought a gift of like two lovebirds, and you know I think I don't know if the birds were jealous of, maybe the birds were jealous of her and Mitch or whatever, but it's a weird Alfred Hitchcock film, and I thought it was good, but you really don't know why the birds were like attacking people in the town. It's like it just seemed like they went crazy, but to me it's a classic.
Mm. I need to
I got
rewatch.
I gotta rewatch that one too.
Yeah,
You said it's Alpha the Birds, right?
yeah, from 1963.
Got you. Yeah, man. Number 91, I gotta go with King of New York, 1990.
Ooh. Mm.
This is probably one of the most artistic gangster movies of all time, in my opinion. It stars Christopher Walken, Lawrence Fishburne, David Caruso, Wesley Snipes. It tells the story of Frank White, who gets out of prison aiming to take control of the New York underground, but he's also like getting involved in politics too, and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like the way how this movie was shot, it was so glossy and everything. Like one of my favorite scenes was when he got out of prison, and him, Lawrence Fishburne, and his boys, they just do this dance, and then he does this little Michael Jackson move, Christopher Walken. It always makes me laugh every time I watch it and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it was like so fucking gangster. Like Lawrence Fishburne, he deserved like an Oscar or something for this role because he killed this
Mm.
fucking role and
Mm.
shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? And yes, this is the Frank White name that Biggie got one of his monikers from too. So this is where he got it from. So yeah, 1990, King of New York.
Mm. That's a classic. All right, so my number 91. I'm gonna have to go with Dirty Dancing.
oh,
Ooh,
that just came on. I just seen that last night on. It was on cable.
Yeah, I have this one on 4K.
Hmm.
Um, okay, despite in spite Patrick Swayze in movies like um, what is that? Red Dawn and The Outsiders. This one actually solidified his movie career. This particular movie.
Mhm.
Um, I love the chemistry between him and Jennifer Grey.
Yeah.
Love the story. Patrick Swayze got a Golden Globe nomination for this for his performance. I thought it was a great performance.
Oh yeah.
The Greys as well too. The supporting cast is really good. So I like it.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack. I like the soundtrack of this movie too.
Right. Yeah, that was good. That was good. See, I watched that when I was younger, but I never got the hype for it though. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
But Patrick Swayze was a great actor. I got a couple of his movies on my list too. So
Yeah, same.
um, what we at 90. Okay, 90 for me is the 95 comedy from Kevin Smith, Mallrats.
Ooh.
Love this film.
Ooh.
And this has a cult following like many years later. Like back then, it didn't really have that, but now I think a lot of people love it. And the story about TS played by Jeremy London, you know, him and his best friend Brody played by Jason Lee. They take a trip to the mall after breaking up with their girlfriends, and TS girlfriend Brandy, her father is like he works at the mall. I think he's like the head of security or whatever there, and um Brandy is like she gonna be like a contestant on a game show, and a dating game show that they were having at the mall, and you know TS and Brody they trying to find a way that they can ruin the game show so that TS can win her back. Brody's girlfriend was played by Shannon Doherty from 90210. Bailey was
Uh-huh.
90210, and they he was finding a way to get her back, but his ex girlfriend was dating Ben Affleck's character, who was in the film, and he was like a real douchebag to them. And you know, you had like Silent J and Bob was in the film as well. You know, their characters, and I just thought it was like a great, comedy, romance comedy from the '90s, and you know, it had like you had like just a day of like kids at the mall and the hijinks they got into, and it was a classic film. It's always been one of my favorite Kevin Smith films.
Definitely. My number 90 is Purple Rain.
Mm,
Ooh.
that's on my list too.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, the Prince movie, the Mega movie, his semi autobiographical movie. You know, this
Mhm.
tells a story about this guy named The Kid, who's like this front man of this band called the Revolution.
Right.
But he just goes through a lot with his abusive relationship with his parents. And
Mm,
then he has a rival group called The Time. And then they also have films for Apollonia and shit like that too. And the kid does not want to be like his father, so it's just like music is his only guidance and shit. But he has like a fucking ego and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So this is definitely one of the greatest movies of all time. Like this, whenever I think of '80s movies, this is the first movie I always think of. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? 1984 was just a great year for movies. Like that might be one of my favorite years for movies and shit.
I
Paris.
You
strongly
know?
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, and the soundtrack alone,
Hmm.
like Let's Go Crazy, Computer Blue, Darling Nikki.
Yeah.
I'm even gonna say some of the B-sides, Erotic City,
Hmm.
17 Days, and of course the title track Purple Rain, of course. I mean,
Yes.
Def Prince's best acting in any movie, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Let's go crazy. Let's get
Number
drunk.
number 90. I'm gonna have to go with Edward Scissorhands.
Mm.
Um, Johnny Depp, mind you, he just came off of 21 Jump Street, and this was his idea of going against typecasting, which smart strategy plan, on his part. Him and Tim Burton's, I think, first collaboration. This movie was, it was a different movie. It was something that I don't think it's been done before. You know, not only as a comedy, but it has some dark elements and some like serious elements too. And Johnny Depp, with little to no dialogue, he did such a wonderful job. I couldn't see anybody else playing Edward Scissorhands but Johnny Depp. I think.
Right.
Edward Scissorhands. Edward. He was very eccentric. He was just. He was that guy. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
the supporting cast was really good in this one. So this was definitely one of the best movies of the '90s. Most definitely.
Okay. My number 89 is Enemy of the State with your boy, Mr. Oscar, the Oscar slap of Will Smith. I know, I love Will. One of my favorite underrated Will Smith movies with starring him and Gene Hackman and John Voight. You had a young Seth Green in this film, a young Jack Black, Jason Lee, who I mentioned from Mallrats. Lisa Bonet was in this film, Regina King, and this was a great cast, and it was about something that we're still dealing with now in society when it comes to, people's privacy and the government, and how John Voight's character, like um he was the part of national security official, and he had a congressman assassinated because they wanted to like pass like a new surveillance legislation, and there was a videotape of the murder that ended up in the hands of Will Smith's character. He plays Robert Clayton Dean. He was a lawyer and a family man, and Regina King plays his wife. And he they framed him for the murder, so like that's really when the story begins, when he got framed for the murder, and then he's like on the run from the government, and he had help from ex-intelligence agent named Edward Brill Lyle, played by Gene Hackman. And it was basically like they were just on the run. He was on the run from the government, and he was getting help from Brill because Brill knew he was like the he was like the guy that like knew all the gadgets and stuff from the government, because he helped them like build all that stuff, and um Robert was trying to fight for his freedom back, and at the same time, like it was like, you see how the government were manipulating satellites at that time, and your phone and cameras on the street and all that. This was like early before social media, you know what I'm saying? So it was like this, like it's like a look into like how they can look for just from a satellite in space, how they could look down on your house and your family and all that. And you know, I thought it was a great film, and I love the action in it, and the way it was shot. It was really like the scenes. There was some scenes where it was like really cold and rainy, and it was just a great film. And I don't think this film gets enough recognition when it comes to like one of Will Smith's best films. It's always Men in Black and Independence Day, but this was a good role for him. It was more action thriller type of role, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was an underrated Will movie and shit like that.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen it.
You never seen it?
No,
Ah man, you got to see
no.
this. I think you would like this if you like government type of cover ups and movies like that. I think you would like it.
Yeah, and I do. I like movies like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch it.
It should be on 4K now. I don't know. It should be on 4K.
Yeah,
Or
it's
at least Blu-ray. At least it
yeah,
should be on
it's
Blu-ray.
on Blu-ray for sure.
Yeah.
All right, my number 89 is Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Oh man.
Yow.
Yeah, this is a classic in my opinion. The movie that broke Jim Carrey through.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody was doubting this movie, but it killed it in the box office and everything like that too. And it pretty much kickstarted his film career.
Right.
It just tells a story about this guy named Ace Ventura. He was like a private detective who likes to take motherfucking animals and everything like that. So you know what I'm saying? And then he gets caught up in a crazy case, They're finding the abducted dolphin mascot and shit like that too. This has Jim Carrey, Courtney Cox, Sean Young, Tone Loc.
Right. Yo, Reg, you there?
This microphone's
Your
off.
your mic is muted, yo.
Oh shit. Okay. What was the last thing y'all heard?
You said Tone Loc. You was going through the cast.
Oh yeah. The cast, like Tone Loc, he plays like a cop and
Mhm.
everything like that too. And yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
Okay. Dope. I like I love the first one. I didn't. The second one, I hated the second one.
I gotta rewatch the second one.
I haven't seen those in years.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm taking y'all way back with some of these movies.
Yeah.
Hey. All right, so I'm gonna go to. This one. We at 89.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to TV. I'm gonna go to a TV movie.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. This one is called The Ron Clark Story. This one's with the late great Matthew Perry. This was based on a true story about a teacher who teaches inner city kids. I think I think they were like elementary or like junior high. And Matthew Perry, mind you, he just got off of Friends at that time, and I think this was probably a tour de force performance by him, and
Right.
I've seen him in movies and stuff, but I think this was probably to date his best movie that he has ever done.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love it. This is a great, 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 and I mean, can't stress enough, great movie.
Okay. 88 for me is Fast and Furious, the first one in
Oh,
2001. That is one of my favorites from the series. I'm surprised that the series has been on for this long. It's like 20 years now for the series, and I didn't expect the series to go on for that long. But I remember watching the first one. At my homeboy had came over one day, and we were watching. He had Fast and Furious on VHS, and he had the first American Pie, and those are like two movies I didn't go see when they had came out back then. So we watched them back to back. I was like, this movie was just crazy, and it was like the story of like Vin Diesel's character Dominic Toretto, who was like a street racing star, and he meets Brian, who's like an undercover cop, but he doesn't know it yet. And then, rest in peace, Paul Walker. Brian ends up falling in love with Dom's sister, Mia, played by what's her name again, Jordana Brewster. And it was just like a dope, like I never seen like a dope like car racing movie like that before. Like this was like, we've seen movies with cars in them, but there wasn't like street racing. And this was like really like one of the first great street racing movies. And Ja Rule had a cameo in it, and that's back when Ja Rule was becoming a huge star in rap. And um the car racing scenes were epic. The look of the cars, and I just thought it was a good film. And if they had just kept this just filmed to just one standalone film, I thought it would have been great, and we didn't need a sequel for it. But they managed to like milk the cow and give us all these spin-offs and add like new characters to the franchise. So now it's become like we on like part 10, and we're getting a sequel of part 10, I think next year or whatever. So I think it was just it would have been great as a standalone film. So that's my number 88.
That's a great choice.
Thanks.
My number 88 is South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is one of my favorite animated movies of all time. Of course, it's based on the show. So on their contract when they first signed to Comedy Central, they pretty much said that this movie was like an obligatory movie and everything like that too, because they said like after the first 3 seasons they had to do a movie. And this is around the time when like a lot of cartoon series was having movies of their own, like the Rugrats movie was coming out and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? This was the era where like non-Disney movies was like Breaking Bad in the box office, and South Park, you know, of course, was an adult animated series.
Mhm.
So this it was even more funny and shit like that. How they just attacked the censorship laws and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? And it pretty much was like making fun of the Disney Renaissance movies at that time, like those musical animated movies, and like yeah, songs like "Shut Your Fucking Face, Uncle Fucker," like
Yeah.
classic shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is definitely a movie that is a must see for everybody. I love it.
I think I saw that like a while back.
Mhm. Yep.
All right. See, my next pick is I'm gonna have to go with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Oh,
1970.
classic one.
I laughed at. I'm sorry, but I laughed at the end.
Really?
Yes,
You didn't like it?
No, I loved it
Uh
when the girl got away
huh.
and the killer. He's just like
He dancing.
he's dancing.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard
Mm-hmm.
that I'm like, all right, yeah, I gotta own this movie.
Right.
'Cause
Huh?
I loved every aspect of
Mhm.
this movie,
Mm-hmm.
and this movie is like basically about like cannibalism and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and that for its time for 1974, for its time, it was pretty much ahead of its time. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I loved it. It's definitely one of the best movies of the '70s, one of the best horror flicks of all time, in my
Yeah.
eyes.
I agree. Definitely. All right. My 87 is a movie I just mentioned, American Pie from 1999. Love the first one. It's a raunchy adult, comedy, coming of age comedy of about people that they wasn't sexually active or they wasn't getting none, and they decided to change things. And I thought it was hilarious. This was the stuff that they did in that film for 99 was just crazy. Like I don't know if they could have gotten away with it now. You know what I'm saying? It was just a lot of. I remember watching the trailer for that. I'm like, yo, like like the dude the dude Jim, that the scene where he's like with the apple pie, he's holding apple pie in the kitchen, and his father comes in and he catches him. I'm like, yo, that was just crazy. You had like an ensemble cast of like a lot of these people from the cast. They went on to do bigger things now. Like Tara Reid, you have her. She was in this film. Natasha Lyonne, I just saw her in like a Old Navy commercial like a month ago. Shannon Elizabeth, she was great in this film. Eugene Levy, he's still acting. Mina Savari, she's doing films. I saw her in the film last year. John Cho from Harold Kumar, he's still doing things. So there's a lot of people from this cast that went on to do bigger things. Sean William Scott as well. That was Stifler. And the thing with this, I like again, like this is one of those franchises where they didn't need to milk it and make all these other sequels, because now it's like they're just basically they're making the sequels and they putting it straight to Netflix, and it's all about like Stifler's family now. They had like one sequel where like Stifler's sister was in college and she was going through her own thing, and it's basically about Stifler's family at this point. I just think it's whack. But the first two films for me from this franchise was great, and I love the first one, so that's why I put it on that list.
Dope.
Dope pick.
Yeah.
My number 87 yet?
Yeah.
Yep.
Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
Okay.
Yes, I know it's a music videos, but technically this was
It's a
released
movie.
in the theaters.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yes,
No.
it was. Yes, it
It was
was.
released on VHS.
Okay, but it was released in the theaters like internationally in Europe
Oh,
and South
international.
America.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like my grandmother was in Jamaica and they had it on VHS and she bought it back home like as a gift for me.
yeah. Like originally it was on VHS in
Yeah.
America, but yeah.
Oh,
See,
okay. I didn't know that.
yeah. So technically it is a movie,
Right.
but you guys should know this is when Michael Jackson, the bad era, my favorite era of Michael Jackson personally, because I
Mhm.
don't know something about the bad era. He was
He was
he was
good.
like a super he was like a superhero at that point. Like
Yeah.
on some real shit. He was like a superhero.
Hmm.
Um, it starts off with like a live performance of Man in the Mirror from the Bad Tour. Then you have a retrospective, and then controversial opinion. Smooth Criminal is his best music video.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I love Thriller.
Hmm.
I love Billie Jean, but Smooth Criminal, the choreography, the story, the extended mix on that one. I don't know, something about Smooth Criminal. It's like
Right.
it's on a different plateau and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, this is definitely like Michael Jackson at his zenith. The kids in the movie did their thing too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
Dope pick. Good. All right. Number 87. I'm gonna have to go with First Blood.
Mm. Okay.
So this one, well, then the best scene in that movie was like towards the end where Stallone did his whole like um, monologue. You know, that that was besides Rocky.
Right.
People say Rocky was one of his best performances. I think this one was one of his most underappreciated performances, and I like the action was good. It wasn't really much action in it. It was
Hmm.
just more like one of those like hide and go seek type movies and stuff like that.
Right.
Um, which honestly, I didn't mind it because to me it was like an introduction of Rambo and stuff, and then you had how many sequels was it? Was it three
Like
more
five.
sequels, five
It was like five.
sequels?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Well,
Yeah.
to me, this if this was a standalone, like the Fast and the Furious,
Hmm. Yeah.
if this was a standalone movie, I would have accepted it.
Yeah.
I would have accepted it. This was 1982 was also a great year of movies,
Hmm.
so I liked it. It's one of my favorite Stallone movies.
All right. Classic. I got 86. I got the Fly remake from 86. Actually, that wasn't planned. I just you know I like the original one too with Vincent Price. That was a classic, and I like the reboot, the remake, and the one with Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis when they were actually dating around this time.
Yeah.
And just about a science. He plays a scientist that he was working on a teleportation device, and then um he was doing tests, and then there was like a house fly that got into the device with him, and like the he had like the the what he was trying to do was successful, but the messed up thing about it was the fly cells got caught in his body. So that's when he started to transform and mutate into a fly.
Mm.
And the makeup was phenomenal, and the way that it was shot. And I loved it. I thought it was like it was gruesome, a gruesome horror film, a sci-fi film, and I thought Jeff Goldblum, that's like one of his best films to me, like where he was actually like the leading actor, and he did his thing in that film.
I am. I want to see it, but I'm hesitant to rewatch that movie.
Right.
I'm hesitant because I group people that transform. Mm-mm. I can't do it. The Thing, no.
Yeah.
If
You
it's
didn't like the
anything,
thing?
I love the movie, but
Uh,
I don't. It was just too. I can't take it. Like
you didn't like the you don't like the transformation.
no, I don't
Okay.
like the transformation. I will cover my eyes in the middle of a
Wow.
second. Like
Right.
even with the dogs, and then the
Uh,
head turned to a caterpillar, and
uh,
then you got the 3-headed monster.
yeah,
I'm
that
like,
was crazy.
I'm like, oh no,
That movie was
you
crazy.
you got me 50 Shades fucked up right now.
Right.
Transformation movies, some I could take, but if it's
Mm,
anything gruesome, like if it's thing related,
mm.
I refuse to watch it.
So
Hellraiser,
how do
no.
you feel about like when you watch like a werewolf film like The Howling? Like, how do you feel about like movies like, because those werewolf films, they were transforming.
That I could take.
Okay.
I could take that.
Okay.
I could take that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if it's too grotesque, if it's like a stomach that has teeth or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
I can't. If it's something alien related, no.
Right.
You could chalk that up. Alien, I could take
Yeah.
because it only had that one scene where
Mm.
John Hurt, his stomach busted, and then
Right.
small alien came out. Actually, I actually laughed at that part because the alien just came out of his stomach and just ran.
Right. Right.
But other than that, anything that's like The Thing or
Mhm.
that's extraterrestrial, that all that, nope, can't take it.
I
I may see The Fly. I may
feel-
watch it. The
Right.
people say it's a good movie,
It was
so
good. What is
I'm gonna
the
try it.
remake is more gruesome than the black and white one with
That's that's what I heard.
yeah.
All right. My number 86 is Hollywood Shuffle.
Ooh, I just bought
Okay.
that movie.
This is Robert Townsend. I think this is his first movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Co-written with Ken Navi Wayans. This movie pretty much kickstarted a whole new era of black movies, in my personal opinion. It pretty much tells a story about this filmmaker, this actor, who has to go through like a lot of stereotypes in order to make it in Hollywood and everything like that too. It's pretty much like a satire of how black actors have to really make it in the business these days. It stars like a lot of people. It stars like Helen Martin, Anne Marie Johnson, John Witherspoon. You know what I'm saying? Pretty dope movie. I feel like this is a cult classic in my personal opinion.
Okay.
That one, I need to watch that. I haven't seen it. I just bought that movie not long ago too.
Cool.
Where we at? Number 86.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now my number 86 is Child's Play. The first one.
Ooh.
All this too.
Yep. This one really hasn't been really done before, I don't think. And for 1988 was a good year for movies too.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good horror flick, and this one. The one thing I loved about it is that it didn't go over the top.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the other ones, once you start doing, now Bride of Chucky, I liked. I actually loved
That was
movie.
good. Yeah.
Once you do Seed of Chucky, Father of Chucky, Chucky of all Chucky, whatever the hell sequels, it just went downhill. And it's like
Yeah.
this one, this one was really good. Catherine Hicks was great in this one. Alex Vincent, I think, steals the movie. Chris Sarandon was really good as the cop.
Mhm.
Don't forget Brad Dourif. Very great, voiceover Chucky. So I loved it.
Right. Yeah. BJ said he can't believe he hasn't heard any Denzel or Tom Hanks films. I have one Denzel film on my list,
Mike.
and Tom Hanks. I wasn't a huge Tom Hanks fan, but like I used to watch his films because like depending on the film, it would get like a lot of Oscar buzz. So I would watch it to see like what's the hype about. So like I've seen like Castaway was a great film. I think he got nominated for that as well that year.
Yeah.
And Sully, like I remember Sully because that happened here in New York City, and that was the same day that I buried my grandfather. That plane went down in the Hudson River. So that was a good film, and I think that got nominated. So I used to watch the Tom Hanks films just based off of like his nominations or whatever. But I wasn't like a huge Tom Hanks fan like that, you know. But 85, I got Rambo: First Blood.
Oof.
I think that's a classic. Like, and again, like you said, Mike, this is not a franchise that was great. Like a lot of the sequels were trash. I feel like only the first two were like the best ones. But the first one to me was great because it was like, you know, when Rambo, you know, wanders into that Washington town, and then he's being he gets brutalized by the cops. And yes, white people got brutalized by the cops too. Was it just us?
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
agree.
he got his ass beat by the cops in that town, and you know, he started to have like flashbacks of him as a, you know, during the wartime, and we knew that he was like an ex, you know, soldier, and we knew something was going on with him, but we really couldn't like figure it out. And then, you know, his former commander Richard Crenna comes in to save him because he understood what he was going through. And I thought it was a great film. That was better as a standalone film, and we really didn't need the other sequels,
Yeah.
you know. But I remember when Rambo 2 came out, and that was like a huge movie when that came out. I remember having like the movie they had like the movie magazine for that with the Rambo posters and the stickers and stuff.
Yeah.
And that to me, like those two were like the best out of the franchise. I don't care for Rambo 3 and all the other films he was like the last Rambo and all that. That was garbage. But I
Right.
think the first one will always be the classic one.
Facts. Facts.
Alrighty. We at number 85.
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
My number 85 is the Japanese anime movie Akira.
Ooh, you picked a good one.
Wow. Akira.
Why you never did a review on that?
Because it's been years since I watched it, but it's always stuck in my mind. But
Yeah.
that might change in the future. Yeah, this one right here is one of the best anime movies ever, in my personal opinion. It tells a story about this guy, the leader of a biker gang named Shotaro Kanata, who's like friend, pretty much has like weird psychic abilities and everything like that too. And it caused like a lot of rebellion and chaos in their town. Like the design in this whole fucking movie was what really got to me, in my personal opinion. Like I remember when this aired on Cartoon Network, I was just like in gas with just like how it looked. Like it was made in 1988, but it looked like it could have been made in the 20 teens or something like that too. So
Right.
yeah, we definitely have to talk about this in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You said I picked a good one. You said I picked a good one, Try.
Yeah, I didn't like anything on your list.
Why?
I don't know what he's picking on his list. So I'm like, what the hell is this? I ain't never seen. I didn't see it, or I ain't seen it in years.
I'm just gonna be real with you. Once we get to the top 50s, when shit gets really down, that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I can't get mad at you at that Secret Agent 00. So I can't get mad on that one. You know what? That's a good pick.
Wait, so Try. You did like 8 Mile, Purple Rain.
Yeah, but they were low. Like Purple Rain, Purple Rain is on my list, but it's higher. I think Purple Rain was just low on your list.
I got a good variety of movies. You'll see.
Yeah, 8 Mile, Purple Rain. That was like the only ones that I liked off your list so far.
You like Moonwalker, Hollywood Shuffle?
But see, Moonwalker, I looked at it like that was like a long form video. Like I didn't look at it like an official movie. You know, like how Jay-Z did Streets is Watching. That was like a long form video. That wasn't like a real movie.
I still consider it a movie.
Okay.
Number 85. This one I kind of changed at the last second. A River's Edge from 1987.
I'm a fucking killer, bro.
This one stars Keanu Reeves.
I saw that.
Ion Sky, Dennis Hopper,
Hmm.
Daniel Roebuck,
Oh yeah.
um, who else? Crispin Glover.
Yeah.
Now, this movie, 1987, once again, great year for movies.
Right.
This had this kind of had Joe and Ethan Coe vibes. This kind
Hmm.
of had like that. What is it? Blood, kind of like Blood Simple, and
Hmm.
it was like a who done it like
Yeah.
type thing. You know what I'm saying? Keanu Reeves, in his early career, he was quick when he's given the right script.
Right.
He can act, and he can act in this movie.
Hmm.
Um, but when, ugh, he's done some garbage too.
Yeah.
So
He does.
yeah, and some of his acting skills. Now I question it. Even with the new what is that? What the new Matrix
Yeah. He didn't
Resolutions.
like
What
that.
oh, I liked it, but his acting was just horrible. It felt like
Mm.
I was watching John Wick.
Oh God.
That's what it
Another
felt
franchise I
like.
didn't like.
It just felt like I was watching John Wick.
Yeah.
It was one note performance.
Yep.
But in this one, in River's Edge, I thought he was great in this one.
Hmm.
So yeah, supporting cast, was great. And mind you, most of them were like up and coming actors too.
Right.
So that's the one thing great about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I like it. I loved it.
Okay, I got 84. I got Godzilla. This is the Godzilla from 1998. And
Oh,
this Godzilla, like, there's so many incarnations of Godzilla. Like, there's currently like a new Godzilla film that's out now that people love, and I haven't seen that one yet.
hmm
But I didn't know what Godzilla, like. I tried to pick the Godzilla movie that I watched the most, and it was this one from '98. And the thing is, I don't like the look of Godzilla in this one. I don't like the way that his head was shaped. But the story for me was good because, like, it came out in the summer of '98. It was a blockbuster film. It made like 379 million, and it on a budget of 125 million. And you had like and it wasn't like a big name cast. You had like Matthew Broderick was in the
yeah,
film. You had Gene Reno, who played the professional. He was in it, and Hank Azaria
yeah,
and Michael Lerner. So I thought that just like having Godzilla in New York City, and it was like it seemed to be like raining in the whole movie for whatever reason. And he just destroyed every part of New York, whether it was like the Brooklyn Bridge or the Holland Tunnel, or he laid like 200 eggs at Madison Square Garden. And my thing was it was I like the storyline, but I don't like the way that they designed Godzilla.
right.
And at that time, Puffy, we got to mention Puffy. Puffy was big with No Way Out, so that was like a year later, and he was featured on the soundtrack for Godzilla. He did the "Come with Me" song with Jimmy Buffett. He
hmm
had did over that song from, what was that, Led Zeppelin or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jimmy Page.
Yeah, Jimmy Page. My bad. He did. Yeah, Jimmy Page was on that song with them, and they had like a big video. And I think they played the song in the movie. But I like the storyline, and I like like how he wasn't trying to hurt nobody in this film. Like, he had just came to the city, and he was trying to lay his eggs, and like the army and the mayor of New York were like going after him, and they didn't know how to attack him or whatever. But I know a lot of people shit on this film. They didn't really care for this version of Godzilla. They prefer like the other incarnations, and the other incarnations was great. Like the recent Godzilla versus Kong films was good, and I heard the new one that's out now is a lot really good. And For some reason, I just saw this one more growing up than I did with the older versions of Godzilla, or like even like the newer ones. So
Well, I thought I was the only one who actually liked this movie.
nah, it's good, but people shit on it because I mean, because it is dated. Like when you watch it now,
Yeah,
like even the dialogue is dated, and the whole look of the film is dated. But I enjoyed it.
I'd rather watch that one than the 2014 one. I hated that one.
See, and I went to see that one in the theaters. I thought that one was good.
Yeah, I
You didn't like
get.
it?
I know. I thought it was slow.
Yeah.
One, I thought it was too slow, and then I didn't like the fact that they killed off Bryan Cranston early on.
Yeah, I didn't like
I
that.
did not
That was
like
stupid.
that.
Yeah.
And then I would have recasted some actors.
Right.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, I thought he was horrible. Elizabeth
Wow.
Olsen, I thought she was the worst.
Really?
To me, she's not a good actress at all.
Wow.
Aaron
So
Taylor,
you didn't see her in WandaVision?
that's one of the reasons why I refuse to see WandaVision. I saw
Wow.
maybe a clip, I turned it off. I'm like, I can't stand it. I'm
I
sorry.
thought she was good in that. Like have you seen the remake of Old Boy
Oh boy, I haven't seen that one yet.
with her and Josh Brolin? She was good in that film.
She was good.
Yeah, but they kept talking about the nudity scene that they had. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, I kind of want to tap into that one.
Yeah, that was a good film.
But now Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Acting wise, I saw him in Bullet Train. Bullet Train with Brad Pitt. I thought that was a fun movie.
I got to see that.
Yeah, that was a fun movie. But that just came out. The Godzilla 98 just came out on 4K, and Best Buy won $60 for it. I'm not paying. I'm not paying that. Yeah, I'm not paying it. It's a steel book. I am not paying
That's
that.
what. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'll get it. I'd rather get it. I don't know if since Best Buy is no longer selling physical media after this month.
Right.
I don't know if I can get it online. See online, I think it's like $29.99 or something.
Yeah, it'll be cheaper.
Yeah, if I can get if it's on Amazon, and if it's $29.99, then I'll get it from there. But I'm not spending $60. They can kiss my ass on that. I'm straight.
Yo, that's crazy.
All right. My number 84 is Mrs. Doubtfire.
Nice.
This features the late, great Robin Williams. It tells a story about him trying to survive in his divorce with his wife, and she gets custody of the kids, so he dresses up as a nanny to spend time with the kids and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? It's a very dope movie, one of my favorite Robin Williams roles and everything like that too. Sally Field also does a thing in this role as well too. You know what I'm saying? Very funny movie, heartwarming movie. I love it.
That's a dope pick.
Give me a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, that's a dope pick. I saw that a long time ago. That was really good. At one point they were trying to remake that movie, but you can't do that. Let's see. BJ says Enemy of the State is a great underrated movie. I still gotta watch. I need to watch that one. Q says I do get scared. Scary movies. I'm not gonna lie.
What's Char doing?
He said he'll be right back. I think he had to go do.
Okay. Yeah, but this is a dope list so far.
Yeah, I know. Like, man, that secret. Now I gotta watch that movie now. Secret Agent Double O Soul. Now I want to watch it now. Oh man, where we at? We at 84, right?
Let me double check. Yeah, 80. Yeah, 84.
Hmm. I'm not gonna hold you. Good thing we doing 20 because that'll give me more time to think of others.
Right.
Shoot, like I started on it last night and stuff like that, but like today I had to make like some last minute like changes and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it be like that sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, this is a definite dope list. So far.
Right.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get down to like the top 10 or like the final 20, like the top 20.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be so fun.
That's gonna be interesting.
My bad.
You good.
All right, where we at? 83?
84, I still gotta go.
84? Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
All right, so 84 is Adam Sandler's Punch Drunk Love.
Mm.
Now, of all the crap that Adam Sandler has done, which is about half like half the movie he's done in his career.
Wow.
Um, Punch Drunk Love, mind you, came out in 2002, and this was directed by Paul Thomas Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
One of the great directors in Hollywood. Um, this is the one thing I love about this movie is that Paul Thomas Anderson, he brought out something in Adam Sandler that we have never seen before, which is he does serious he did a serious role,
Right.
but Punch Drunk Love, it's not just a serious role, it's also a comedy, it's also a romance, it's also a dark comedy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You had Adam Sandler, you had Luis Guzman, and you have Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who don't know what Punch Drunk Love is, so basically it's a romance movie. Adam Sandler, he's kind of like an introvert. He works at this he works at this warehouse or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And he has like sisters and stuff like that. So one of the sisters tries to set him up with one of her friends and stuff like that. And he has these from time to time, he has these violent outbursts, and he's crying and stuff like that. So it was one night he called up a phone sex operator, and it turns out that it was a scam. So basically this so-called phone sex operator, basically, wants more, trying to extort more money from him and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So you go through like a series of, like, you have the romance part, and then you have the romance is on between um him and, I forget her name. I forgot her name. But I thought that was great. Um yeah, just the whole movie was great. And then this is Adam Sandler, who's doing a serious, pretty much a serious role, something that he has never done. Went outside
Right.
the box.
Right.
Finally went outside the box. So
Mhm.
um this was, when I first saw this, I'm like, all right, what could I expect? And you know what? I was surprised. It was one of the most surprising movies, and mind you, it came out in 2002. So
Mhm.
um, yeah, he definitely did an excellent job. He did get some award nominations.
Right.
I thought he should have got nominated for an Oscar, but
Mhm.
that's besides the point. So yeah, Punch Drunk Love is on my list.
All right, and number 83, I got Rocky, the first one from '76, and I think it was a classic film. A young Sylvester Stallone playing a small time boxer from Philly, and he was working at the meat. He was a meat packer. He was pause. He was working at as a meat packer with his friend Paulie, and falls in love with Paulie's sister Adrian, and he rose in the rankings as a small time boxer to becoming champion. He beat Apollo Creed. Um, and his trainer was Burgess Meredith. Rest in peace. He was Mickey. And I just thought it was like a rags to riches story of a small time boxer coming from the hood of Philly and rising to fame and also falling in love and later on in the franchise we see the effects of the fame and the fortune and he had to take on bigger opponents and just a great franchise like when you thought this franchise was dead and they revitalized it by having a spinoff with Michael B. Jordan as Creed's son and that storyline that we see and Rocky becoming his trainer and all that and I love that. I love the fact that's how you keep a franchise like this still going and you got to breathe new life into it but just like the first one like even if they didn't make no sequels the first one to me is a great standalone film
Yeah,
and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a classic.
facts.
Give me one quick second.
Yeah. Hmm.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Um, did you think at some point
Hmm.
in the franchise of Rocky,
Yeah.
did you think it felt? What was the weakest movie out of that whole franchise?
I think the weakest one was five. Like the one
Everybody
with
keeps saying that.
yeah the one with what's his name Tommy.
Yes.
I thought that one was weak. I mean, just the way, and it was good. Like I like the way, like because I believe the little boy in the film was his real son, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the way it ended though. I just thought Rocky having a boxing match, outside of the ring. It looked like in an alleyway. I'm like, what is this? This is like early UFC. When you think about it, you know what I'm saying? And that one to me out of all the other ones was a weak one.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Excuse me. My number 83 is Serial Mom.
Oh,
Hmm.
I didn't expect you to pick that one.
Yeah, this one was a funny movie as
Yeah,
well.
that was funny.
That the one with Kathleen Turner?
Yeah.
Huh.
It features this like happy-go-lucky mom, upper middle class who just randomly kills people for the simplest shit. If they don't wave to her, or they don't get the right ghost feelings and everything like that. And the way how she gets out of it and she represents herself in court, it's like a thing of genius and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very funny movie. It's a cult classic. It has like late great Suzanne Summers also was in the movie too. So rest in peace to her.
Yeah. Hmm. Never seen it.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, I think I have it on Blu-ray. I think so. But I'm gonna watch it. So number 83. I'm gonna have to go with Stand and Deliver.
Ooh.
This is based on a true story. Um,
Mm.
teacher about this math teacher. Edward James Olmos. Mind you, he was still. I think he was still in Miami Vice at the time, and it's pretty rare that a TV star gets an Oscar nomination, which he did get an Oscar nomination for this role. Um, pretty rare that, pretty rare, but I mean, he definitely did his thing. Um, Lou Diamond Phillips also got accolades. He got a Golden Globe nomination as well as he won the Independent Spirit Award for Best Supporting Male,
Yeah.
which I think he should have got. He should have got a nomination as well.
Mhm.
Um, this was a very good movie. You know what I mean? This was 1988, and yeah, loved it from start to finish. Loved the ending. You know, I loved the screenplay. The screenplay was really good, so I loved it.
Nice, nice. Okay, I got at 80, what we at? 82, I got the One Identity from 2002
Ooh,
with Matt Damon. Love this film. This is based on the books. Um, and it's basically like it's like like another one of the like, well, it's not the same, not in the same vein as Enemy of the State, but more like, Matt Damon plays um uh Jason Bourne. He loses his memory, and he's a hired assassin for a company like Treadstone, and somehow he had an accident on a fishing boat, and he lost his memory, so he has amnesia. He doesn't know who he is or his identity, and he's trying to find out who he is, but he has these Treadstone people after him, and it's basically like a cat and mouse chase around the world, and I believe they filmed it in Budapest, I want to say, and just the sets were the location sets were beautiful, and the chase scenes, especially that chase scene he had in that like little buggy car running away from the cops, that was a great car chase scene, and you had a good cast with Julia Stiles and Brian Cox and Franco Potente and Chris Cooper, Clive Owen, Gabriel Mann. This to me was like the start of a good franchise, and you had Born Supremacy 2 that was good as well, and they had the Jason Bourne movie with Jeremy Renner that was decent, and I think this is a franchise I can still go, like, as long as they have Matt Damon as Jason Bourne, I think it can still make money, and it was just a good story. Like I like these type of spy CIA type of espionage films. It reminded me of like the James Bond films, and this was a good film.
yeah, definitely. That was very good.
Yeah,
That came out in 2002.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very good movie.
Hmm.
All right, my number 82 is Soul Food.
Oh wow.
What? Oh wow, you don't like it? Oh wow, you're surprised.
It's Soulful was okay. It wasn't one of my favorites, but it was good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this this is definitely a movie that came out that show like a positive image for like black families and stuff like that too.
Right.
If it stars this young boy Ahmad who's like in all of his adult relatives' business and just judging them from afar and just getting nosy and almost burned the house down with some peas and shit. Now let me stop. It's much more than that. It's pretty much about a family who like loves soul food, and they always have soul food at Big Mama's house. But once Big Mama passed away, that's when the family started drifting apart. So they try to hold that tradition just to be as close with one another and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this was a very great movie. The cast, Nia Long, Vanessa Williams, um, what's motherfucker's name? Mackay Pfeiffer in this movie and stuff. Vivica A. Fox. Yeah, this was a very dope movie and spawned a very, very great show back in the day. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My number 82 is a movie that not a lot of people know about. It is called My Bodyguard, not The Bodyguard, but My Bodyguard. This one came out in 1980. This one stars Matt Dillon, Ruth Gordon, a young Joan Cusack is in this one. So what this movie is about this young boy who is new to this high school in Chicago, and he um, he he said something like he was talking like shit about Matt Dillon's character. So Matt Dillon tried to extort him, for protection money against this guy who's rumored to be a killer and stuff like that. And they know for a fact that he killed his brother. So then the boy he befriends with this guy, who everybody's afraid of, and it turns out that he's a very nice guy, but he's just hurt because he's just basically he's lonely and he's kind of vulnerable because he's grieving over the loss of his brother. So this is a very good comedy drama. It's a fun movie, and it kind of gets dark a little bit, but not too dark though. But this is definitely one of my favorite movies of the 80s.
All right, 81 for me is this the sequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That's my favorite Indiana Jones film out of the franchise, and this I thought this was even better than Raiders, and having Indy had to like he was in search of like a magical Sankara stone, and he uncovers that the stone has ancient evil, with whoever comes in contact with the stone, and he had his faithful sidekick, Short Round, aka Data from the Goonies, and you had Dan Aykroyd. I don't even remember Dan Aykroyd in this film. Dan Aykroyd was in this film. You had Kate Capshaw, who played Indy's love interest. And it was just like a lot of, if you loved the Raiders of the Lost Ark and all the stunts and the action that was in that film, you're gonna love part two. I think it was just as better, especially that scene on the bridge where they had to like walk across the bridge, and the bridge end up breaking in half, and that was just again, Steven Spielberg was just a genius at this point, and you couldn't miss with Indy, and I thought it's like a great sequel.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good choice too.
Yeah. Thanks.
My number 81 is the movie, the Bill Cosby Sidney Poitier movie, Let's Do It Again.
Ooh,
Nice.
Yeah, man. This was part of the three movies that they did in the 70s: Uptown Saturday Night, Let's Do It Again, and A Piece of the Action. This probably is my favorite one out of the series. You know what I'm saying? It also has John Amos, Jimmy Walker, Mel Stewart, Austin Davis, and stuff like that too. It pretty much tells a story about these blue collar workers who pretty much wants to rig a boxing match so they can get money for the fraternity lodge. and everything. You know what I'm saying? So I love the chemistry between Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier and everything like that too. The soundtrack was very dope too from the Staples singer. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is a personal favorite of mine.
And that was back when Bill Cosby was doing good movies.
Right.
After that, oh god, Max was it Max Devlin and
Yeah.
Ghost Dad.
Ghost Dad and
Ghost Dad.
what is that other one? Leonard Part 7.
Oh God. Crap.
Oh god, I saw a clip of Leonard Part 7. I'm like, what? I'm like, what is this?
What happened to the other 6 parts?
Why? No, six.
You know,
Like, why is there Part 7? Why is it called
Right.
Part 7?
right?
Oh man. So my number 81 is the S.E. Hilton classic, The Outsiders.
Ooh.
This was directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Has an all-star cast. Matt Dillon, C. Thomas Howell, Patrick Swayze, Ralph Macchio, a young Tom Cruise. They were all up and coming. Actually,
Yeah.
very good, very dope movie. I like the uncut version
Mm.
way better than the theatrical version. I feel like the theatrical version, they left the most important stuff out. So this is definitely on 4K. So if you guys don't have it, it's a must own in your collection.
Wow. Okay. I got for number 80 is Evil Dead the remake from 2013.
Ooh.
And I love this version of Evil Dead over the original one. I think the original one is way overhyped.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Evil Dead 2 is better than part 1.
Mm.
You know, but the remake in 2013 with Jane Levy playing Mia, and she's a drug addict, and you know she wants help for her addiction, and they go to this secluded cabin in the woods with her brother and his girlfriend and their friends, and you know they find the book of the dead, and once you read from the book of the dead out loud, you summon the ancient demon, and that's exactly what happened. And then you see like each one of her brother's friends, they kill each other, and she's like the last one left, and she's battling the book of the dead, and she has to chop off one of her arms and use one of her arms as a chainsaw, and it was great. It was gruesome. It was dark, and she got possessed by the ancient demon once they read from the book of the dead, and I know they're doing a sequel at some point. They're supposed to be doing a sequel with her coming back, so I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that. And I just thought it was one of the best remakes done right. A lot of these remakes, especially when it comes to the horror genre, the remakes are terrible. There's no connection to the original, and I think they had a connection to the original with this remake, and I loved it. And like I said, I think this is like one of the best films in that franchise. So,
Mm. Dope.
yeah.
All right, my last pick, number 80. I got The Little Mermaid, the OG version.
I had that on my list. I had the animated one on my list.
Yeah, man, I had to pick this one movie and shit like that. The
Mm,
one that kicked off the Disney Renaissance and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Back when life was like more simple and shit. You know what I'm saying?
right.
This tells a story about this girl named Ariel who falls in love with this human. Ariel's a mermaid, by the way. She falls in love with this human and stuff like that. I think Ariel's like a younger than 18, but we just want to keep our mouth shut on that. But her father doesn't want her to fall in love with a human, so she makes a deal with this sea queen called Ursula to make her a human so she can fall in love with him, and then she loses her voice and stuff like that too. So this was like the simple story that Disney excels at, in my opinion. The animation was great, the voice
Yeah.
acting, from like Pat Carroll, Buddy Hackett, Renee Abonoir, Jodie Benson was very good too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is a classic movie.
Definitely.
Mm, classic.
Yeah.
So my last pick, number 80, is Play Misty for Me.
Mm.
Um, this one stars Clint Eastwood and is directed by Clint Eastwood. And so Clint Eastwood, he plays a radio disc jockey, and he meets Jessica Walters' character, and Jessica Walter, she turns crazy,
Mm.
of course, and this is like one of those Fatal Attraction movies. If now a lot of people say that Fatal Attraction started the trend of Fatal Attraction, but I felt like this one, I felt like this kind of went under the radar, in my honest opinion, and this is a great directorial effort by Clint Eastwood. I think to me, this kind of like started it. It kind of like started it, but then Fatal Attraction kind of like, moved it along a little bit. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So you didn't see too many of movies like these like in the 70s. So this was definitely ahead of its time. Screenplay was really good. Clint Eastwood, one of his best performances, in my honest opinion. Very underrated movie. So I love it. Classic.
Yeah. And that's it.
Yep. All right. That is
That,
it.
that was fun.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. So, um, where we at? Oh, 2 hours and 11 minutes. Okay. Wow. All right. All right. So this has been a dope list. You know, you know what I'm saying? Does anybody want to have an announcements and stuff like that you guys want to say before?
Tomorrow I'm doing a live stream with what's it with the homie Grind Ethics. We're gonna do that on Instagram at 7 p.m. and just talking about hip hop and the mixtape era and stuff. So he's a podcaster. Check him out on Instagram and Friday I'm gonna upload the interview I did with the Army Group of Law from like 2 years ago. So that'll be on my channel on Friday.
Dope.
No.
Friday at 10 o'clock, we're going to talk about SOS bands on the Rise album. So be on the
Cool.
lookout for that shit.
Nice.
Dope. Let me see. December 10th, I believe it's the 10th. Me and Rayshawn, we're gonna be doing a double album review. I think it's the Jets
Mm.
and Stephanie Mills, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. So definitely stay tuned for that. That's gonna be on his channel. Shout out to Rayshawn. Definitely younger artists to his channel. So last night I just dropped a video of my massive um, Blu-ray, 4K, vinyl pickup, you name it. So, mind you, it's about 2.5 hours. So, yeah, definitely go check that out. Shout out to all the viewers who have been seeing my Best Buy out and about videos, for the past couple of weeks. One of them in particular has gotten over 800 views
Nice.
somehow in some way. So, yeah, definitely check those out. Subscribe to That Ain't Rap podcast and also subscribe to Reg Reviews.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we are going to cut out of here. And any last words? before we get out here? Any last thoughts?
None whatsoever.
I just want to say thank you to everybody that checked out the Home Alone 1 and 2 reviews that we did. It's almost at I think 500 soon. So I didn't expect all those many views. I guess people love Home Alone, and that's dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, this is Mike's Movie from Mike's Movie Corner and more, and we will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Peace.